What's up, my party people? What's up? Excuse me. I am here after having to take off a week. Where'd my chat go? My live chat should be showing. I have a cat here. If you can, don't bite the microphone. Don't be that guy. He is a sweet little cat. If you watched last week's episode, you saw him. But he is basically just tantalized by all these cords, and he is going to try, I'm sure, throughout the course of the broadcast to bite off and destroy many of the cords, but we're going to try to prevent him from doing that. Let me see why my live chat isn't displaying on the actual thing. It's not showing. You okay? Let me switch to this view. We're going to make sure it's enabled here. Yeah, I'm seeing it there. Let's just throw the same exact one here. There we go. All fixed and ready to go. For those of you not familiar, I am essentially I work at a big retail giant for tech. And Black Friday in the US was this past weekend, and it's been an absolutely insane time. And I am very thankful to have a job, but it was very exhausting, and I had to work like 2 times the hours I normally work in a week. It was quite hectic, quite insane, but there it is. Ooh, wait, what's that? Let me pull this up. Incognito W. Look at that. Hi, Luke Poo. Can't stick around for the stream, but buy a coffee on me, mate. Thank you so much. $5. Thank you. And then, oh, Finley, careful. Don't go messing stuff up. And Jakes Larzul says your background is shit. I agree, my brother. I'm actually looking at moving in probably about 2 weeks, and I have a glass of milk here that he's very interested in. And I'm looking at moving, and for that, I will have an all-new space that's going to be specifically calibrated and built for this. So it's only for a little while longer, but thank you for the $4. That will go towards the new set. There we go. Wonderful. Wonderful. No, you can't have it. You can't have it. Basically, after a long day of work with a very sore throat, sometimes a glass of milk just sounds good. You know, it just sounds good. But I'm doing okay. I'm very happy. I have a cat on my lap. I have milk in my glass. And really, that's all you can ask for in life. Don't you dare press buttons, bro. Is this going to be a problem? Is this going to be a problem? Are we going to have an issue? Probably. So, yeah, I'm very excited. And I think we're going to have a good show today. We have a couple things that we're going to talk about in terms of our key distinctive things that we're going to discuss. And then we're also going to just have kind of a casual conversation going back and forth with the chat and all of that. We're going to really just try to relax and have a good time. Luckily and thankfully, there hasn't been a lot of news. No, I'm not going to spend the entire stream talking about how loot boxes are evil and EA is the devil, because guess what? That's old news. Everybody already knew it. Like, it's not really a crazy thing to figure that EA is not going to be a great company in terms of consumer rights. So I don't really want to discuss that. I know you don't really want to hear it. I don't want to hear it either. All the YouTubers I watch gaming YouTubers. Gaming YouTubers watch gaming YouTubers too, okay? It's not like we're different than you. Famous people watch YouTube just as much as everybody else. And I'm not saying I'm famous, but I'm saying even Justin Bieber watches a ton of YouTube. If he is excited for a video game, he watches videos on it. It's normal. And I'm sick and tired of all of these YouTubers, both bigger and smaller than my channel, talking about all of this. So I'm just not going to from here on out. Does your cat ever turn your PC off? My on-off button is on top of my PC, and my cat jumps on it regularly. Actually, yes. Yes, he has done that multiple times. I actually have a little external SD card reader that I stick, that I plug in when I need it. So I actually just taped it on top of the power button, and now he can't get there. Don't cause issues, bro. Be a good boy. He's eventually going to fall asleep and it'll be fine. But right now he's just excited. He hears me talking to invisible people holding a glass of milk, and he's very excited. No, it's not good for you. Sorry, you can't have it. I know it's probably cruel of me to have it here, but it's good for clicks, I suppose. So all in all, yes. Did I finish Assassin's Creed Origins? Yes, did a critique on it. You can check it out. It's on the channel. If you click the little Lukey Poo logo under the video, then you can actually go watch that critique right now. It's out, it's ready, it's good to go. Let's see, what were some other questions before we get into the main topic? Perseus Gold. This is a good transition into into our main topic. He said, Xbox has no exclusives I care about. Absolutely shameful. It needed a Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn fantasy or sci-fi adventure game, and it had none. And that is a really good segue into what we're going to be talking about today. And so let me swap over. Nope, don't hit the microphone, bro. That's not good. He wants to be a star. So essentially, what we're looking at is a time when Xbox really has to make it or break it. Xbox is launching the Xbox One X, and they launched it on the 7th, which is the most powerful console that has ever been made. It's capable legitimately of putting out essentially 4K at about 60 FPS without much difficulty. And the reason it can do that is because the DRM is non-existent on it. It's very low level. It's well optimized for the device. Even though the power is roughly similar to that of a 1070, and a 1070 can't run Origins at 60 FPS and 4K, that's actually just an optimization issue and an issue with the DRM. So natively, we still are talking about a very powerful device. As I recrop this shot right there. So we're talking about a very, very powerful device inherently. But a device is not everything. You can have a Rolls Royce, but if you can't drive it, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a chunk of metal that doesn't actually have any innate value. All of these consoles, all of your tech, everything you have in your house is not inherently valuable. It isn't valuable just by sitting there. It doesn't offer you anything, in the same way that like a river is inherently valuable because it gives you water and you can live off of that without needing to do anything to it or with it and all of that. A Scorpio is something that is potentially very valuable if you have the gear to balance it out. Same thing with, you know, the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X. If you don't have a 4K TV, it's not putting it and it's not using it to its fullest extent. Don't bite the mic. And for that reason, you know, you have to make sure that you are helping it out and giving it what it needs to perform at its top capacity. Same thing, buying a car, not putting gas in it, same basic idea. With this, if we're sticking with that car analogy, no biting the mic. You're going to cause issues. Sticking with the car analogy, if we kind of float with that, like if the Scorpio is the car and the games are the gas, if we don't have any gas, then we're screwed. Like there's no point in even having the car to begin with. And right now people are looking at the Xbox One X, debating whether or not they need to get it, and they're looking at the game library that they can get on it. And you're going to be able to get Xbox or Assassin's Creed Origins, for instance, and that is true. It will run at incredible frame rates or incredible resolution and frame rates for a console version of the game. I will grant you that. It is impressive. And all the other games that you're going to be running are also going to be very impressive in terms of the quality that they can put out. But it isn't the only device in the market that can greatly improve the visual fidelity of a particular title, especially with games like Assassin's Creed Origins. We have PS4 Pro and we have PCs for all of these AAA games, which means that it's not going to single-handedly dominate the market in the same way that Nintendo is now dominating the mobile market and the casual gamer market, which they are. They just simply are. Next year, there was an analyst earlier today that estimated that basically, if Nintendo launches a full-on open-world Pokemon game in 2018, they could take up to 40% of the total market, which is just insane. Like, that's just crazy to really think about. And I mean, you have to think, you know, serious gamers compared to not serious gamers, and dedicated guys that are really into it, that watch gaming podcasts like this, compared to those who aren't watching these types of podcasts. But, you know, it is something where, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So they're in a very tough market right now because they don't have any exclusives that are going to win people over to their particular brand, in the same way that Sony with a PS4, and not even a PS4 Pro, is going to be able to win somebody over just by having Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, until recently Neo, you know, all of these games that are very specific to their actual platform. And a lot of people said, no, it's good Xbox doesn't have exclusives, which is what, you know, Perseus put this out there in his initial comment. It is true that it is potentially good that they don't have any exclusives, because exclusives are not, you know, people don't like exclusives. We like to be able to play every single game. We don't want to have to, you know, get a PS4 in order to play this game, and have an Xbox to play that game, and have a Switch to play that game. In an ideal world, we'd be able to play everything on every device. I actually think, because it's not an ideal world, it's actually really good that console exclusives exist, and that companies like Sony fund exclusives. Sure, it sometimes backfires and we get games such as No Man's Sky. I blanked on the name there for a second. We get games like No Man's Sky that are kind of disasters, but in general, Sony tends to knock it out of the park. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, PS4 and PC exclusives, was a fantastic game, and that's something that wouldn't have happened if Sony didn't get involved and didn't help them out. In the same way that Cuphead wouldn't exist if Xbox and Microsoft hadn't gone in there and spoken with them and tried to help them out. So all of this to say, you know, I think what the market is looking like right now, Xbox really needed Crackdown 3 to not only release, but also to be phenomenal. If you look at the Switch, Breath of the Wild essentially single-handedly has sold that console, and it did for the first 6 months. And then we got some other games, and people will say, well, there was ARMS that came out in June, I think it came out, and there were some other smaller titles. I don't care. No, it's not selling. ARMS is a terrible game. Like, it's not worth $60. I don't think it's worth $30. Splatoon 2, I don't think is worth $60. I think it might be worth $20, but that's about it. Those games are not very good, and they don't deserve the sort of compliment of saying that they helped sell the console. Breath of the Wild pretty much single-handedly sold it, and then Ubisoft's Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle helped sell it. And then the consumer confidence was so high that people figured that they could invest in a Switch, even if they didn't have a ton of games they were excited for at that moment, that soon down the road there would be. And now we've got Stardew Valley. We have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out. You know, we got lots of really good options out there. And I'm personally really happy with how it's going. Now, Xbox has taken the stance that they don't like exclusives, but they've still dabbled in it, and some of the stuff we saw at E3 was discussing it. And of course, we've seen titles such as Cuphead, which are Xbox and PC. Now, I'm not going to go out and buy an Xbox One X in order to play, you know, Cuphead at 4K or whatever. You know, I don't need that. I can play on the PC. It's fine. But really, what Xbox needed was an all-out, you know, 5-star title that was so popular and so amazingly well put together that everybody said, I need to get the game. I don't care what device I need to buy to get it. And that's what we got with Breath of the Wild. Everyone's saying, is it really that good? Is it really 10 out of 10? Is it really that good? And everyone was saying, it is. It really is. Get it. Return it within a week if you don't like it. And people bought it and were like, yeah, no, it is that good. And that's the type of game that Xbox needs. Unfortunately, so far we haven't seen anything. All of their games like Scalebound, Crackdown now are in either development hell or were canceled, like Fable. Fable was canceled. It's not really clear why or what happened there, but Fable was going to have another sequel that looked promising, and it was canceled, and no one really understands why. Basically, it looks like they just had conflicting visions, and Xbox wasn't confident in it. No, don't push that. You're good. Yeah, he's a bad boy. That's a really well-placed tale, Finley. That's good. Thanks a lot for that. So all of this to say, I know I've said that a bunch, but what I'm saying in general is that Xbox needs to find some way of getting a title that is specific to them, that's going to give people a reason to initially invest in the X, and then the consumer confidence will boost itself to the point where people say, you know what, this is worth actually having, and this is a worthy title, or a worthy console to have. The PS4 Pro, it's true, it's not the most powerful device on the market, certainly not anymore, and it was barely the most powerful device when it initially launched. And I think the only reason that it's still being sold and pushed, and why people are still buying it, not in crazy volumes, mind you, but they're still buying it, is primarily because they have confidence in the brand and in the games that they can get for it. I know if I plug in Horizon Zero Dawn into a PS4 Pro, it's going to be incredible. I know that when God of War comes out and I play that on the PS4 Pro, it's going to look fantastic. I know that if I go and I'm playing, whatever it's called, the other zombie, like open world, Days Gone, is that what it's called? Days Gone? I want to say that's what it's, yeah, I think Days Gone is what it's called. I know that when I play that on the PS4 Pro, it's going to look fantastic and it's going to run fantastic. I don't need to know those games right here, right now. We've seen them and we've known about them for a while. They're still coming. They're on their way. But, you know, it is a confidence issue. And people are already leaving Xbox to go with PS4. If they have a PC, they're going and they're getting a PS4 instead of an Xbox because they know that they can get exclusives they couldn't otherwise get. You know, it's just one of those things. And yes, let's see. Jamil says, as a PlayStation fanboy, it hurts to admit that Halo is dope, but it really isn't enough. I would agree with that. I don't think it's enough. Halo is one of the exclusives that they do have, so I'm glad you brought that up. But where is it? You know, Halo Wars 2 was a downright disaster. It was just a total train wreck. And as for Halo 5, you know, that did launch, but what has happened? Like, where is the franchise? Where are they going with it? Maybe at E3 we'll see something. They, you know, some would say some would say it's gotten stale. I would be one of those people, but I'm not a huge fan of shooters to begin with, so I wouldn't be the best person to even ask in the first place. I'm not somebody who is going to get like super pumped and stoked about a new Halo game coming out. I'm just not one of those players. It just doesn't really interest me. So, and in general, you know, Halo 5 will always sell well. Halo in general will always sell well. Is it going to be and capture the imagination of millions of people in the same way that Horizon Zero Dawn did? I don't think it ever will, because it's not fresh, it's not new. As painful as it is to admit, Halo 5 is, or Halo in general, is a series that people are familiar with, and that it's not going to shock anybody when a new one comes out. Sequels are sequels, and they eventually kind of become less exciting. They just do, and that's okay. I'm going to skip through the loading screen there, just because who likes sitting through loading screens? But I take the bots as a compliment, actually, Jove Kill. All these bots are popping up all of a sudden, offering us dating sites that if on this actual playing it back and watching it back, you might not be able to see them in the actual chat, but in the chat that's on screen, but in the actual live chat right now, there's a bunch of bots talking about, single women ready for a casual partnership, all that stuff. And I take it as a compliment, because I think that's a milestone. When you got all these bots coming in, they feel like the community is something they want to snipe, then that's quite a nice compliment. As for Cuphead on the PS4, I mean, it would be nice. Finley, no, get away from the camera. Come on. What are you doing? No, come on. Okay, sorry. The cat really is an attention whore. I have been playing through Cuphead, by the way. No, don't drink my milk. Don't drink my milk. I've been playing through Cuphead, and I'm actually a big fan of it. If I can maybe go like this, I should be able to add some footage I captured. Cuphead. There. We'll mute it. And I will stack it underneath everything else. There we go. And we can put it up like this. I've been playing it. This particular capture was one of the first bosses I fought in the game. And I did not do well. So forgive me for the hilarity that will ensue while you watch me die many times and eventually get it. But no, I really enjoy it. This is a game that they should have promoted much heavier. And if they can do the same type of thing, then they're going to be in for a real treat. But this is the type of stuff they need to be doing constantly. If they can't continue to do this, and to have many more titles like Cuphead, they're going to be in some real trouble. Because basically PS4 for the last 2 years, they've been putting out nothing but Cupheads. You know, they're all Cupheads in terms of quality and how people enjoy them. The fun thing to note also about this, whenever I pause in this footage that you're going to watch, it's basically because Finley came and tried to chew on a cord or something, and I had to shut it down. Oh, thank you for the compliment, Uncharted Gamer. Don't bite the... No. He's trying to chew the cord for the mouse. Don't you dare. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, Finley wants to be a star. LA Noire Remastered. What a title that is. Some people hate LA Noire. I really like LA Noire. I've always really liked it. Don't get away from the mic, you attention slut. You. And he goes back to the milk. You're just the worst today. I really like LA Noire. I understand why people might not. You know, it is very narrative, and the open world is kind of confusing because you got to ask yourself, why did we need this open world when you could honestly have made basically the same game with just smaller linear levels, and it might have even been better. But you know, I think it works pretty well, and more than anything, I think it's more just to give context, to give you the feel that you're in an open world. And then when you really start to play it as though it is an open world, at least as we're used to after like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild, when we're used to open worlds, we get spoiled. And that certainly, in terms of the design of that world, it doesn't fit with the same quality, the same standard that we're used to in the modern day. I would agree. That's why I'm really hoping if we ever get a sequel to that. I know the studio shut down Bandai Namco. No, that's Dark Souls publisher. What was it called? I can't remember the name of the studio, but whatever the name of the studio was that developed LA Noire for Rockstar, they did a great job, but they got shut down and apparently was just not very good, and really poor working conditions. All of that stuff was just not great. And I think it's Team Bondi. Thank you, Frugal One. Team Bondi, yeah, they got shut down and basically incorporated into other teams. So if they were to make another LA Noire, it wouldn't be made by the same team, which I actually think potentially could be a very good thing, because there are some major issues with the core game of LA Noire. You know, the controls, shooting mechanics, everything in that game isn't done very well, at least compared to how Rockstar does a lot of other things. But you know, it's just, I don't know. I would like to see another LA Noire developed by another one of Rockstar's core teams. I think it could be fantastic. I have all of my footage from LA Noire, actually. If we go to this, no, that's going to be a smaller clip. This one should be about 20 minutes long, I think. Yeah. This one, I think I gave the controller to my brother and asked him to just drive around and have a good time. He's not a good driver. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, yeah, so I really like LA Noire. I'd like to give it a shot, you know. I think it deserves a sequel. It didn't sell fantastically, but you know, with this remaster, I think that is a very strong hint towards, you know, something on its way. I think they're trying to remind people of what they enjoyed about it. They're trying to remind people of the IP. 2 years ago, one of the head people over at Rockstar, I forget his exact title, but one of the head honchos said that LA Noire was a very near and dear franchise to them, and that they were looking forward to, you know, supporting that franchise again in the future. And if they can do that, that's going to be very good. And maybe this is the extent of it. Don't you dare, you little monster. Maybe that's the extent of it, and they are honestly just doing this re-release to milk it for a little more cash, and that's it. Maybe it's just their way of easily testing out the Switch as a potential platform. But whatever it is, I'm just glad they're giving it more attention, because I think it's really good and I enjoy it. And I have not purchased it yet for the Switch. I am still finishing up Super Mario Odyssey and also Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, both of which are more casual. I like Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's a fun game. I don't know why anybody would consider it Game of the Year. And I honestly and truly mean that. I'm not saying that to be contrarian. I honestly don't see it anywhere near the same quality, the same creativity, the same just everything that I would take into consideration. I think Hellblade is a more impressive game than Super Mario Odyssey. I really do believe that. I'm not just saying, I really do believe that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a much more impressive game. Mafia 2, I'm actually working on basically playing through Mafia 2 for eventually a critique. And, you know, after Mafia 3, which was a terrible disappointment for so many people, especially at launch, it's, you know, it's a really good game. If you like the sort of LA Noire style, then you're going to really like Mafia 2. I really like it. We'll see you, Liam. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I think it's a really good game. It's a really good game. The open world is completely flat and empty in the same way that LA Noire's is. But in terms of the writing, in terms of the story, it keeps you engaged. There's small little things you're doing at the same time as there's a big overarching plot. You know, it's done really well. It's done really, really well. So I'm impressed by it. You know, it's been a while. I played through it back on the 360, and I haven't touched it in a long time, but I got it on sale for the PC for like $5 or something, and so I started going back through it, and it is very good. I'm enjoying it, and it's aged fairly well, actually. It's not an ugly game. It runs pretty well. Shooting mechanics on PC are kind of terrible, but if you play with a controller, then it's fine. Let's see. It's sad that I just got around to The Witcher 3 back in October. Only reasons were because of Lukey Poo and the $20 discount last month. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it, my friend Jamil. I really hope you enjoyed it. It is a fantastic game. It will take your life away. You'll lose easily 80 to 90 hours just on the main quest and the side quests, no doubt. Or main quests and the expansions. Throw in the side quests, you're easily over 100. Let's see. Oh, Finley's chewing on my finger. Let's see, what's the dealio here? As for, there we go. There you go, Jovkill. Take care of you. So what were we talking about other than that? We've already burned through half an hour of this just talking. If Skyrim was worth $60 5 or more years ago, then that sets a standard. Something that costs the same must be of that quality. No excuses. Well, that's an interesting thing. I was actually talking to somebody at work about this. The really interesting thing about where I work is that we get people of all different, you know, types and creeds of people work together, and so we have camera people, we have, you know, microphone specific people, TV people, gaming people, computer. all of these different types are all working in the same space, and a few of them that are very casual gamers I was speaking to, and they were talking about Skyrim, saying how they played it back when they were younger, which is true. Like, we're talking 6 years ago. So for a lot of these guys, you know, they have kids now, and they were in middle school when they were playing it, if that is right. I think that's right. Anyway, but yeah, they were much younger, and they were in a different time of their life, a phase of their life. And it's just, you know, a really interesting kind of thing to have the chance to play through it again on a portable console now. And as for how well it runs, you know, I can't speak to it. I'm not going to buy it. I enjoy Skyrim, but I'm not going to pay full price for it. Even $40 I think is excessive. If Bethesda really wanted people to just enjoy the game that they consider to be the game of the century, then I would consider, if I were them, I would have just put it out for like $5. You know, just say, this is the cost of the port. If we sell 1 million copies, we'll pay the 10 dudes that spent a few weeks on this. Like, I know that it's more work than that, but you know, they should honestly approach it as a gift to the gaming community if it really is that good of a game. Obviously they're just trying to milk it because they realized that they're only releasing games every, like, what, no, well, Fallout 4 was 2015, Skyrim was 2014. It's every 4 years. The weird thing is to imagine, you know, the next Bethesda game is still probably a good 2 years out before we hear anything, because we are probably looking at approaching a time when things are announced and launched within 6 months. And Todd Howard has said that's what he's trying to do. That's their goal from here on out, is to have that quick turnaround. They don't like the big marketing cycle. I don't love it either. You know, The Last of Us 2 was announced because I think they felt like they needed to, you know, I think I just don't like the big, long marketing cycle. I get that it can be done for games like God of War, but I think it's just more exciting when out of nowhere, you know, something is announced, you don't expect it, and then it's launched right after that. It'll be interesting. It'll also be really interesting to see where Bethesda goes next, because Bethesda has been, there's no doubt about it, you can't debate it, Bethesda's been moving towards a simplified, very mellow, very streamlined system and quote-unquote RPG that a lot of people are upset about. And obviously, you know, when they moved to the voice protagonist for Fallout 4, a lot of people loved it. A lot of people absolutely hated it. And it's very limiting in terms of what you can actually do when you go to a voice protagonist. And it'll be interesting to see, you know, how they approached it and how they're going to approach the sequel. If they're going to change it up, if they're going to do another voice protagonist for the next whatever game they do. It's probably whatever space something or other that they were leaking. But it'll be interesting to see where they go, if they listen to basically the input of their fans, or if they just kind of stick with what they know. Let's see. This is why I just can't accept a linear narrative game that will get 1 or 2 plays through. No biting the wire. 1 or 2 playthroughs, 20, 30 hours each for the same price as Skyrim or Breath of the Wild. And that's the thing. Well, the tough thing for people to remember also is that Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, those games, yes, I know somebody who has like 8,000 hours in Skyrim. I don't understand how, because I could never put that many hours into a single game, but those people exist. And Breath of the Wild, you know, I comfortably put about 89 hours into my first run through of the game, and I completed most of the stuff. I really, you know, had a good time with it. I explored everything. The map was completely filled up. I had a great time with it, and I just enjoyed it. And then I was able to start another playthrough and still enjoy that. And you know, so I got a lot out of that game, but especially for $60, but Some people are going to be able to go through that game in about 20 hours. You can finish the main quest in Breath of the Wild in about 20 hours. And there are some people that just, once they finish basically the main quest of a game, they're done. And they walk away and they don't play it anymore. Which for a game like The Witcher 3 is tragic. It really is, you know, because there are a lot of people like that. And, you know, so it's always up there and it bounces back. But I think Skyrim, it was definitely worth $60 at the time. It's probably worth $80 at the time. As for what it is right now, I would say I wouldn't want to pay more than 20. You know, 20 would be a generous gift to them for being like, you know what? Yeah, this game is pretty good. Here's $20. Anything more than that, I just think is ridiculous. Especially because it's so dependent on mods. You know, there's still on my original copy of Skyrim for the 360, there's still a bug that makes it so I can't pursue the Dark Brotherhood. I can't. A boulder spawns in the way of the doorway after you kill the little priest dude in the cage. I can't move on. Like I'm just stuck. And the save, I have to go back an hour and I can't follow that quest line through. So the modding community is the only option, and you know, I just don't see why I should pay Bethesda $60 to get access to a game that's broken until I download a free mod for it, which kind of bugs me. But the other thing I'm going to be working on is, I won't spoil it outright, but when I tell you, you'll be able to figure it out pretty easily, I think. It is a critique for a game that's been rumored to have a sequel coming out. Sequel is not confirmed. It's made by, or it was made by, one of the premier open world developers in the entirety of the gaming industry. It is a game that when it launched, it wasn't wildly successful, at least sales wise, but has since found a cult audience. And it is a cult favorite, and a lot of people love it and are hoping that the rumors for the sequel are true because they love the original so much. It is a cult classic open world sort of game from the mid to late 2000s. That's all I will say. Guesses will be coming in the chat. They already are. I'm not going to confirm anything. I already confirmed Mafia 2, but that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the two I'm working on right now. I consider doing a big critique for Horizon Zero Dawn, but that would mean going back through all of these games. Or I'd have to go back through Horizon Zero Dawn from the very start, and that would be another 30-40 hour playthrough, and I figured I could do that, or I could go play one of these games that I haven't touched before, that is very popular, or that I have touched and was really fun, you know. So yeah, lots of guesses coming through the chat. I won't confirm anything. I won't let myself. Are you doing okay? Are you doing okay? He's teething. He's losing his teeth. So he's a kitten. So his teeth are getting loose. So he has to chew. As for other stuff going on in the world of gaming, yeah, in general, I think the Xbox, going all the way back, I think the Xbox One X is a very strong device. If there were more games to play on it, I would get one. But for $500, I'm not going to get something that's just effectively going to sit on my desk. And if I look between my computer and my X, and I'm like, I'll just play it on this because it'll be at a higher frame rate anyways. I'll just do that. I don't want a paperweight. I want it something that I'll actually use. And if I get a PS4 Pro, at the very least, I know that I'm going to be using it because I can play all the exclusives I can't play on my PC on that and play them at higher frame rates and better resolutions and all that. You doing okay? You doing okay? Mr. Kitty Cat? I had a candle burning. This fun story. I had a candle burning. He had never seen a candle before, or at least never been that close up to one. And I had it going, and you know, I watched him very carefully to make sure he wouldn't light his hair on fire. And I was like, yeah, see, it's hot, so you don't want to go sticking your face in there. It's going to hurt. and he kind of looked at it, got a little closer, and backed up when he felt the heat. He got a little closer, sniffed it, and then backed up, and then walked away. And about 20 minutes later, I looked at him, and he had his little eyebrow whiskers were all kind of curled up and foiled, whatever. And it was because he got so close. He wasn't that close to it, but his little eyebrow stuck out and got melted or burned or whatever it does and shrunk up. So now he has very uneven eyebrows, which is kind of adorable. At least the big long whiskers that come off. I don't know what they're called. But, yeah. Did you have any technical issues with AC Origins, or did you play on console? I played on PC. I didn't really have any. At launch, I did have some pop-in issues, some major pop-in issues. But after the first patch and after the second patch, certainly, there weren't any problems. It runs fantastically on my rig. My rig is listed out in the description box of this video. So if you'd like to see what all of my gear is, then you can see that there. Just easier than me listing it off every time somebody asks. Marlo, yes, the X is stronger than the PS4 Pro. Basically, the X is going to be able to do 4K at 60 FPS on a lot of games that are specifically built for it. So, like, whatever, Forza Horizon 7, 13, PS, whatever it is. That game is able to run it at 4K 60 FPS, whereas the PS4 Pro in general is going to run 4K 30 FPS checkerboarded, which just means that it renders at like 1440p and then uses really complicated algorithms to essentially guess what the pixels should be if it were 4K, where they should put them, what color they should be, the brightness, and all of that. It's way above my pay grade. It's very complicated, and I don't understand it fully. But have I played Frozen Wilds yet? Not yet. Not yet. I want to, and I will probably around Christmas. But right now I have not. It's partially a mix of I haven't gotten to it yet. I have other games I need to play and other things I need to play. And also that I'm waiting to play it on PS4 Pro and the 4K TV that will be coming. Thanks to my sales record at this new this sales job, we qualify for bonuses, and the bonus can take monetary or unitary form, and I chose unitary. Perseus, mummy DNA confirm Old Kingdom Egyptians were ginger and blonde-haired Europeans ethnically. Hotep should be put in labor camps. That escalated quickly. No, well, that is one thing I was actually kind of worried about, I'll be completely honest, when they announced Assassin's Creed Origins, was that not only, people say, I don't want it to be whitewashed, I also don't want it to be completely, like, blackwashed or whatever the antithesis would be in kind of a knee-jerk reaction to it, because the ancient Egyptians, especially in that time period, were Greek. Like, Cleopatra was not like a big black woman. No, she was actually fairly European and Mediterranean in her blood type, and same with a lot of the pharaohs that lived before her. These were royal weddings. They were very political, and they were rarely about love. It was just a matter of marrying the person that was going to help you get the most power, and usually that meant mixing in with different tribes. So rarely were the royalty full on Egyptians in terms of their blood. But unless you have a giant 4K TV or you sit less than a foot from your TV, the difference in the appearance between the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X are negligible. It does perform better, but not $500 worth. Yeah, I'd agree with that. The frame rate is going to be a noticeable thing. If it can hit 4K at 60 FPS as opposed to 30, that will be noticeable. But that's only going to be true of some games. And the PS4, again, is going to be able to run all of those exclusives that you wouldn't get elsewhere. So you're telling me Daddy Bayek was a lie? No, Bayek would have been a real dude. Magi were real. And he would have been a full-blooded Egyptian, probably from the western part, as he was in the game in Siwa. And so they would have actually looked like that. So they got that part really, really accurate. They did a good job with that. Drew, oh yeah, he likes the head rub. The head rub is quite nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're spoiled, you know that. You're a spoiled cat. Yeah, the dynasty after Alexander the Great was the Ptolemaic period, as they call it, and they were all Greeks. And yes, that is accurate. That is true. The Ptolemies really, basically, the Dark Age of Egypt was basically after Ramses II, probably around 1200. Oh, thanks, Jakes Larzul. Cleopatra was Chinese. Yeah, can you prove it? We don't have her body, so you know I can't say you're wrong definitively. But thanks for the $2, man. As for what was I saying? Oh, the Dark Age started basically after Ramses II in 1279-ish BC. And after, you know, that was a dude that lived into his 90s, ruled for like 70-something years. And you're talking about a king ruling and living into his 90s when he was believed to be God on earth, and the average lifespan was about 32, 33. That is somebody who literally would have been viewed on, even not just by his people, but by other people's, as not normal. It would be like us having, or the Queen of England living to be 180 or 250 years old. And we're like, yeah, we're not her subjects, but something different is happening there. You know, we should respect that. I mean, 3 times the average length of life, which is just insane. And so when he kicked the bucket, you know, he had been running the country for close to a century, and the entire thing just kind of collapsed around him as a result. And it was really unfortunate. Did you see my buy it calendar picture? Oh, yes. Let me pull that up for everybody who has not seen that picture. Which chat room was it in? Was it in art? I think it was. Here it is. This is what he's referring to, guys. This right here. The buy it calendar photo. Available in stores now. As for okay, let's do this real quick. Guesses for the next Assassin's Creed game. First of all, the thing I want you to put in the chat is whether you think it's coming next year or if you think they're going to take another year off. Secondly, I want to know where you think it's going to be located. And third, I want to know when it's going to be located. I want to hear your best guesses. Those 3 things. And while you're typing that in, I would say, you know, while I'm waiting for your responses, Ashraf Ismail, the guy who directed Origins, was asked many times if he felt the 2 years or the year gap was actually helpful and was something they needed and something they decided to do to polish and improve the quality, blah, blah, blah. And he actually said no. He said it wasn't planned for that reason. They decided that they wanted to make this game. They had the vision for this game. And the price of that vision was that it was going to take 4 years. And the reason was that was just how long it was going to take to develop it. They had a pretty good idea. So after that point, they decided, okay, 4 years is what it's going to take. Our other teams are going to finish Syndicate in 2015, Unity in 2014. So you guys start on Origins in it would have been 2014 is when they started development on it, right after Black Flag. And we'll just release your game when it comes to it. We'll have a movie for 2016, so it won't be like we're just not doing anything. So I don't think it was actually directly a result of Unity's launch. I don't think it was directly a result of Syndicate's launch that they waited another year or two. I think it was actually just the coincident results of, you know, those games didn't work well and they took a year off because of the way the team's scheduled out. It's possible the others have been scheduled for 4-year terms after that. You know, they just decided to go bigger. It's certainly possible. But is it incredibly likely? Well, you know, we're talking about Ubisoft here. So anything is possible, but there is evidence to suggest that they'll go back to the annual release after this. The one big thing to argue against it is the insane lack of leaks and mentions of any sequel, other than that initial leak where they were saying they'll likely go to like Rome and Greece after this and put those games. As to how different those games would be from Origins, I don't really know. Origins did a lot and let you go to a lot of those places, so I'm not sure how different those would feel in terms of gameplay. I think it would be good if they mixed in like going to Japan and then they went back to Rome or something like that. That's really the only way I could see them doing it. And yeah, Assassin's Creed 3, I would like to see another Revolutionary War or a Civil War Assassin's Creed. I think that could be really cool. And another offer for sexy chicks. Look at that. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Let's see. The third team will make something like medieval England or ancient China. That could be cool. Imagine, what if we did like a... Let me think this through. I don't know. I think it's only a matter of time before they try to do like the Native American thing. Japan is obvious, you know, they're probably looking at that very heavily. But I think the Native American thing, we saw glimpses of it in 3. I think that could be really interesting if they did another one and really focused on that plot line. But they might consider it already done and kind of move on from it. You never know. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of really interesting options. I'm kind of excited to see where they take it and what they do. Oh, it popped up late. I don't know what happened there. So, yeah. Yeah. All in all, lots of great stuff coming out. Lots of cool things to discuss and debate. Jake's Larzul, $2 again, says, new AC in Civil War, AC Black Flag. Yeah. Yeah. No, I would love... I just think the Civil War is such an obvious one. You know, Assassin's Creed 3 was such an obvious one. You know, the Revolutionary War was a fantastic time to set the game. I wish they would, you know, go back to that time period. That's the tough thing, is knowing what the tech is now, what they can do in terms of tech, in terms of their approach with all these side quests and the RPG approach. Seeing all that, you know, it makes you wish that they could go back and approach these other time periods in the same way. The other thing I would love to see is a Viking or Scotsman type of Assassin's Creed, which I think would be really cool. The tough thing, of course, is just that the Vikings, you know, you're talking about roughly the same period, around 1000 AD to 1100 AD, maybe 1200 AD. But according to their lore, Assassin's Creed lore, you know, that can get really rough as to how the Assassin's Creed got there. So, I don't know. The other thing is that, you know, not much is known. So, if not a lot is known about a particular time period, then it can be both freeing and also very difficult to make something artistic in that time period and in that location, just because you honestly don't know anything about the particular location you're looking at. You don't know anything about the people that lived there, the places, the cities that they had. All of that is up in the air. You really just don't know. You really don't know. Let's do. There we go. So yeah, now, oh, he got to the milk. Yeah, you guys probably saw it before I did. He got to the milk. Well, yeah, I'll move the chat. You see that right there? Oh, mean, it was out for an hour, so it's not like it's going to be super good, but you're sneaky, you know that? His head barely fits in there. Well, that's the cue for the final flush. Let's go and hit it. Basically, what this is, I'm going to turn off the chat now. What this is a time for you to put something silly, something funny in the chat. And basically what's going to happen is I'm going to read through the chat for about 90 seconds. And if you make me crack up while reading through it, you win. If not, I win. And we celebrate by watching. Don't you dare spill that. We celebrate by watching something silly or funny afterwards. So go ahead, put something funny, something silly in there in the chat. I've paused my view of the chat, and so I can't see what you're putting. And you know, we can really just take it like that. So while you're doing that, I'm going to look up what should we watch to celebrate. What should we watch? You know, we kind of celebrate the end of every episode by watching something silly. This black sweater comes off as really black in the video. Look at that. It's like I'm not even there. Do you see that, Finley? Yeah, he got his milk. He's happy. No more. It's not good for you. What was I going to do? Oh, right. Something funny. Yes, last week we did The Rock. Oh, that's going to be copyrighted. I just had a good one, but that's going to be copyrighted. Huh. This is always tough because everything is copyrighted nowadays, so you really just can't win. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know. Something funny that isn't going to be copyrighted. I don't know. Maybe this one. This one shouldn't be copyrighted. We'll watch it. We'll try. We'll try at the very least. No more milk. No more milk. Okay, let's read off some potentially funny comments. Finley and I will read them together. Let me pull up my stopwatch. Let's do it to it. And stopwatch. Here we go. I'm going to switch to that. Oh, wait, no. Disable that chat. Okay. Here we go. Timer begins. Okay. Dang it. Okay. What do priests and McDonald's have in common? They both stick their meat in 10-year-old buns. That's pretty good. A game where you have to stop Attila the Hun's army. That actually would be a good setting. Some of these have to catch up. Most anticipated game of 2018 for me is hopefully is the Last of Us Part 2. I would like that one too. If not, God of War. If not, whatever, Days Gone, whatever it's called. That one looked really good. And Red Dead Redemption 2, of course. Why are the holes in cats' fur always in the right places for their eyes? Finger my silly willy. My stamina is a joke. Alex Jones, when are we going to get a critique for the greatest RPG of all time? Fallout 4. Watch Joseph Anderson's. He's done 2 big videos on it and that are both really good. I can imagine a Viking Assassin's Creed looking like the current Savage Thor. You better believe it. If tomb is pronounced tomb and womb is pronounced womb, we shouldn't bomb be pronounced boom. That's a good point. I'm going to use that now. I'll be talking about all the booms in World War II. It was really devastating. Many people died from boom raids, and maybe that's a bad time to use it. Something funny. Good, you typed in something funny. Did you know there's a band called 1023 Megabytes? They haven't had a gig yet. I see what you did there. Luke drinking water. You better believe it. Why drink water when you can drink something thick? Galfao, there's another hole, and it's not for the eyes. You would know, Jeff Kill. Nick Lani, machines are like children. Hit them to make them work harder. Your podcast is like Xbox One X. A fail. Assassin's Creed and World War III. Oh, can you imagine if they did like Call of Duty? They started going in the future. Oh. Cats can safely drink lactose-free milk. Okay, I'll look into it. DRM is good. EA headquarters may as well be... Oh, dang it. EA headquarters... Where did it go? May as well be the cover for Abstergo. It actually kind of is. It's kind of funny how that works. Can you react to "Man's Not Hot" lyrics visualized, or will that be copyrighted? I'll check on it real quick. Lukibu's beard is legit unreal. Yeah, sort of. Look up Alex Jones, I like to eat. It's short. Okay, that one won't be copyrighted, so we'll probably do that one. Assassin's Creed, The Room. I want that so bad. Can you imagine Tommy Wiseau running through villages like, oh, hi, Mark. That would be so great. Oh, we've been going for like 3 minutes. I don't know who won. I haven't been paying attention. I'm sorry. I was just enjoying that. Well done. Well done. The hardest part of the vegetable to eat, wheelchair. Classic. Classic. Oh, I scrolled past it. I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, it's... Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, let's see. This one... Alex Jones, I like to eat. Let's look this up. No, Finley. He's going to knock over the light. Finley. No. He knows he's doing something wrong. He just knows it. No. And don't try to jump on the monitor. It's not going to hold your weight. You're too chunky. No, Finley. No. He's going crazy. What are you doing? Here, come here. Want milk? Want milk? I'm not actually going to give it to you, but you don't know that because you don't speak English. Okay. Oh, yeah, this one is short. Let's see. Let's go here and here. Oh, this has gone so well. Here's this. Let's try it. Oh, this one I gotta change to this. Is this gonna work? This gonna work? Nope, not connected. What do you mean not connected? There we go. Okay. Here we go. Let's see this. Very short.
I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human, and I'm coming. I'm animated. My heart's big. I like to eat. I like to fight. I like to I like to have children. I got a life force. It's got hot cum going through it fast. I like to eat children. I'm a throwback. I'm setting fires everywhere. I'm a human, and I'm coming.
That's good.
Imagine you live in a world that's fake. Who are your heroes? Patriots. Imagine you live in a world that's totally plastic. Who are your enemies? If you're evil, the Patriots. We are the future. We are the leaders. We are 1776. We are those that were given the mantle and the birthright by George frickin' Washington and Thomas Jefferson. They've taught you to not know who they are, hate them. They were renowned around the world. George Washington, for weeks, had dysentery and lost about 1/3 of his weight and climbed around in freezing ice with his men, where they would go on marches at night and they'd lose 10, 15 people just in one battalion, freezing to death. To at dawn, battled the Germans 3-1 at places like Trenton. In 30 below temperatures, in 20+ mile marches, in the dark, with men dying all around him, and George Washington with diarrhea running out of his pants on top of that horse, marching to kick ass, marching not to give up, taking action. That's who we come from, and we let all these hunchback scum rule us. I will never submit to you. And the human spirit is rising. You will not turn us into animals. You will not poison us anymore. You will not kill us. Our spirit transcends all you've done to us. Simple. Stop feeling like you don't have power. Stop feeling pathetic and weak. Break out of your television-induced trance It starts with a war growl. It starts with getting fired up, staring at yourself in the mirror and showing some teeth and saying, I'm a human being, I have dignity, I'm going to resist, I'm going to start recognizing the propaganda, I'm going to break free from it, I'm not going to fight with my family, I'm going to organize with my family and realize we're under attack by the social engineers, and I'm not going to fight with my neighbors, we're going to organize, humanity's going to come together. Ah! Ah! We know we're under attack, we know it, we're breaking the conditioning. Ah! Ah! We're coming for you, globalist! Ah! Coming for you! Coming for you! We know what you're doing!
Wow. Imagine having that much energy all the time. Like, could you even survive? Would your heart just blow up? I don't know. That's like being on cocaine 24/7. It's kind of remarkable. I don't know how he does it. No chewing on the mic, Finn. But yeah, that does it. Well done. Well done, everybody. We go. Go team. I'm going to try to keep this cat from chewing off all the wires. I'm going to try to get another video out in the next few days. We go back to classes. I got class again. Work shouldn't be as crazy, but I'm going to try to get those out. Thank you to everyone who showed up. If you're watching this streamed afterwards, thank you for watching. But with all that said, yeah, we're done. Go team. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Love you. Bye-bye.